YouTube. I guess I could have done an unboxing video, but I was too excited to wait, and I didn't even think about it because I don't do that shit, because unboxing videos are actually kind of lame. But I did get a new purchase that I think is going to be a new project for me. It's going to have to be. I bought a very used, I'm guessing it's made by Topeka, but the price was just, I couldn't pass it up. I've been looking for a Saxon type helmet because I had some ideas that I want to do. I was thinking about painting one, and I found this. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Topeka. It's fairly solid, so it might actually be a, I mean, there's no real bend or jiggle, so it's probably going to be 16, or it might be 18 gauge, but I think it's 16 gauge steel. You can tell that it's not its normal color. In fact, it's orange with rust, although it almost looks like it's been painted. It's rusted so much. I have a feeling this was in somebody's garage or storage shed for a very long time, but I'm very happy with it. I paid 15 bucks for it, and I'm not going to feel bad about what I'm going to do to it. Put it on so you can actually see what this son of a bitch looks like, but it's gonna need a liner. It should probably sit up more like this. These big cheek pieces kind of hit stuff, but those might get shortened. But this is going to be my Sutton Hoo Helmet Project. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen my Crusader kit. I like the Viking Saxon style, but they are different. They are not the same thing. They're not the same culture. They're not the same people. They have many similarities and come from a similar language group, and their religion has the same Germanic roots, but they are in fact different. And I guess this is official that I'm gonna go with a Saxon kit rather than do a Viking kit. And knowing the history of both people, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch or completely ridiculous to assume that not all groups of Vikings were from the same. I mean, we think of them as countries now, but they didn't think of them as countries then. The Norse would have been the Scandinavian people. The Saxons and Frisians and Angles are from northern Germany. The Jutes and the Danes would be from the Netherlands. And that's all kind of in the same sphere, I guess. And then England gets kind of off to the edge, and so was unfortunately the recipient of many of the attacks of both cultures. But it wouldn't be ridiculous to assume a Saxon could get in with a Viking party of warriors from Norway or something like that, or a ship might contain different ethnicities, we'll say. The Varangian Guard being a multinational, primarily Norse/Germanic fighting force, so it wouldn't seem totally unlikely that there might have been some sort of precedence for this going on in the North Atlantic before the Varangian Guard was formed. If there already was a cultural affinity, it doesn't seem too ridiculous. But I'm digressing and getting off point. You only care about the helmet. That's why you clicked on the video. These flaps are actually held in place by leather. today I am going to hit this hard with some polish. I'm actually tempted to try the old wives' tale. Use Coca-Cola to try and get rid of the rust. I do have steel polish that I use for other weapons and equipment, but as heavy as this surface rust is, I don't know if that'll do the trick. It almost looks like it is painted. It's so thick. And there's also rust here on these brass sections, which do not rust. But my idea is that I will either build a separate suspension system and place it in there by using several pads and then an inner shell, basically by doing a series of up donuts. There would be one disc-shaped pad at the top, and then using two donuts, one kind of in the middle here, and then one around the edge, which will support it on the head, and then that is all connected together by kind of a webbing, but I won't bolt that into the helmet. I don't know if I want to drill holes in this to do that. And the other thing, I mentioned painting it. I don't know if there's evidence for them being painted. There's a lot of evidence for these very high quality metalwork, but this particular one, like I said, I think this is Topeka. You can tell they're not doing the most ornate metalwork. It looks rather crude, actually. I mean, this here, that mouth and this should all be brass, and it should be, well, it actually should be gold. On the reproduction, it's supposed to be brass, but it's rusted over, and as we know, brass does not rust. But the original Sutton Hoo was heavily inlaid with precious metals, very ornately, and I was wondering why it couldn't be painted. I know in the Middle Ages and in the Renaissance, helmets were painted. In the Orient, in the East, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese arms and armor were painted, and then developing into a lacquer, especially in Japan, where the recipe almost became secret, and it was different smiths had their own variations on the recipe, getting different finishes, getting metallic finishes, pure black or blue or red. But I'm not going to do anything that complicated. I just want to paint it. I think this color looks like shit. Obviously, it's not supposed to be orange. It's not supposed to be rusty. Yeah, I don't know how well you can really see in there. No, it just looks like a big black hole. But it's orange. It is orange. But I think painting it with the sort of details and features you find in Saxon and Norse and Frankish art, as there was a good deal of trade and commerce going between the cultures and communities of the North Atlantic, even getting some Gaelic influence in there from Vikings that were living in Ireland, or even Irish traders in the early part of the Middle Ages. There's a lot of potential for some different styles that I could paint on here, and rather than have dumped $100, $150, $200 on a mediocre to a good quality reproduction, I got myself a piece of shit that I will not feel bad about ruining with a paint job, because I think at this point anything I do will look better. But until I get that done, I think that's all I got to say about that. I'm going to get this rust off, polish it up. Probably won't make a video after I clean it unless I find some magical cleaning technique that I gotta tell you about. Chances are that ain't happening, but I will do an after video. So I guess this is the before. Once I get it polished and painted, I will do an after video then, but until that point, thanks for watching.